something right now. If you want the X factor, if you want to separate yourself from everybody else, when you're going to networking meetings, when you're getting into different audiences, when you're getting in front of people and you're talking about being a plumber, and you're talking about being a landscaper, you're talking about being a realtor, if you want people to remember you in those 30 seconds, in those 60 seconds, in that conversation, you need to share a story. Share a story. That's the X factor. That's what's going to allow people to remember you. That is what is going to separate you from everybody else. When you get into a room, a large room, if you're a realtor, chances are there's tons of other realtors in there. If you have a nonprofit, there's tons of other people in there with a nonprofit. If you go into a room where there's investors, there's a bunch of other plumbers there, a bunch of other landscapers there. So you have to say, what is it that I am going to do or say that's going to make people remember me and allow me to stand out in the crowd? And the way we do that, ladies and gentlemen, is by sharing a story. If you can share a story, a very quick story, and sort of tie it into your business. You know, like, so for instance, he talked about he's a plumber. I'm a part of a couple of real estate clubs. The guys come in the room, here's what they say. They say, hey, how you doing? My name's Andy. I'm a plumber. I'm good, I'm affordable, I will arrive on time, and I'll get the job done. That's what they say, just about everybody, okay? So the guy gets up and says, instead, get up and say, hey, how you doing? My name's Andy Henriquez. Yeah, I know a lot of you guys are real estate investors in the room. As a matter of fact, I work with a lot of real estate investors. There's one particular guy that I work with, his name is Damon. Damon left, and he was out of the country. And he had one of his rental properties where all of the bathrooms were backed up. And Damon called me, he was frantic, he was in another country, and he couldn't get back in time. And there was no way that he was going to be able to pay me. And it was a really serious issue. But he gave me a call, and I could hear it in his voice, how bad the situation was. So I went over there, and it ended up taking me about half the day. We had to dig up underneath his house in order to change one of the valves that was underneath his house. And I can't tell you how excited Damon was. Now, I'm hoping that none of you guys have an issue like Damon, but if you're looking for somebody you can really count on, somebody who you know you can rely on, someone that you know that's going to get the job done, I'm the plumber that you need to call. Do you see a difference in those two? Which of the two are you more likely to remember? David, right? So here's the thing. How you doing? My name's Andy. I'm a realtor. I sell real estate. I'm one of the best realtors around. I work for such and such company. Remax, Colware Banker. That's your typical thing a realtor says. So when I get up, if I'm going to be a realtor and I'm going to be sharing a story, hey, how you doing? My name's Andy Henriquez. Listen, I know you got a lot of realtors to choose from. But you know what? There's a lady that I met the other day. She's a single mom. She's actually a teacher at one of the local elementary schools. And for a long time, she didn't even think that she could own a property. And her and I, we met at a networking meeting. We sat down, and I went through how much money she was making, and she had a little bit of money saved up. And we found a way to get her qualified. And I drove her around from house to house, and we finally found a property. And just the other day, she was finally able to get into her own home. Now, this is a single mom with 3 daughters. And let me tell you something, there's nothing better than to see that single mom walk in there. Now, not all of you in here are probably single moms, but you probably know somebody who's looking to purchase some real estate. This is something that I do from the heart. This is something that I love to do. If you have somebody in your family, or somebody that you know that's looking to get a new piece of real estate, then you need to give me a call. Does that person stand out than other people that just says, hey, I'm a realtor? Okay? Does that make sense? And so, boom, right? Valerie Parker. She has a nonprofit organization. So Valerie says, hey, most people get in the room, hey, how you doing? I have a nonprofit organization. We help people. We need your help. We need you to give a donation. Okay? So then Valerie, and I don't even have permission to do this. I could get in trouble for doing this. Don't do this. You should ask permission. But Valerie may get up in front of the room, and when Valerie gets up and Valerie says, hey, you know what? As many of you guys see me right now, you have no idea that I was in an abusive relationship for many years. For many years. And things had gotten so bad that one time when my husband had left the house and there was just this little window of opportunity, after years of being battered, I decided to take my children and the little that we had on us, and we left. And that was the beginning of the first new day of my life. Now here's what I know. I got out of that situation. But here's what I also know. There's a lot of women who are still in that situation. That right now, they're struggling. They're getting beat up. They've lost their voice. They've lost their identity. And so that's why I started the Soul of a Woman. I'm looking to raise funds so that I can empower those women. So I can give them workshops and seminars. So I can teach them that you don't have to stay in this situation. And most importantly, I empower them so they can take their power back. I'd love to have your contribution. It doesn't matter if it's $5, it doesn't matter if it's $1,000, everything counts. But for Soul of a Woman, we believe that we can change women's lives one day at a time. So can I get your support? Is that different? Is that different? So that's the X factor. So what happens is, most of us, what we would do is we go through and we want to just talk about features and benefits. This is what I do. So you hear a speaker. Hi, my name is Andy Henriquez. I'm a motivational speaker. I speak in front of audiences. I speak in front of, if you're a motivational speaker, I hope you speak in front of audiences. And I hope you speak in front of groups, right? So what does that mean to me? So that's why we want to be very effective at sharing stories. So what I want you to do is, this works. This is your X factor. Everyone, when you get into business, you're looking for that X factor, that it, that's going to make you stand out from your competition. Because the competition is everywhere. The competition is fierce. So what is it that's going to make you stand out? What's unique to you? It's not prices. Get over that. It's not your prices. It's not your service. You should have good service. You should be on time. You should do what you say you're going to do. That's why you're in business. I don't get that. I'm on time. I'm cheap. I'm affordable. You should be affordable. You should be on time. You're getting paid to do a service. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? Yes. So what's your X factor? Your X factor is your stories. The people who interacted with you. The people that you created value for. The people that you did something where you went above and beyond. The person that you impact, the woman that you impacted, the man that you impacted. And what we want to be great at is sharing the stories. And every opportunity you have, you share your story.